Okay, this video is a pretty good one. It's basically how to capitalize on quick upgrades, quick expansion. Basically how to capitalize on momentum as barter and use that momentum to drop giants in your opponent's villages via ships or boats. So it's a 3-player FFA. It's called the Endless Star. I'm actually player 3 here, and I've read somewhere that the last player gets the most has the most chance of getting ruins, which seems to be the case in this game. I start with the near my capital here. You can see 2 right off the bat. I got organization in my second ruin there. So normally, yeah, you would go and try to find a second village before opening ruins. Is probably the most common practice, but since it is a large map and it's got 3 players, I figure I've got time. It's not like I'm racing to my it's not like I'm racing against my opponents to get to the next village. So I do apologize. It skips 2 turns. Well, it skips turn 4 and it skips turn 9, I believe. So just skip turn 4 there. I'm going to pause this because... So one reason I went for that, another reason I went for that ruin first is because I saw all these animals here and I figured there was probably 2 villages right here. And I wanted to get mathematics before I convert my second village. So I figured I had time to open the ruin over here because I wanted to get both warriors on these villages at the same time and then by forestry and math before converting them. I don't know if that made sense or not. Another thing is, if you notice, I took my warrior around this way for the second ruin as opposed to this way here. And the reason for that is they're both the same amount of tiles, but going this direction revealed these clouds. And I'm just kind of hedging my bets because if it is an explorer, it has to go this way now. It cannot go down in, or it can't go into this corner over here. So let's say if I would have went the other direction, same amount of tiles, I would have revealed these clouds. And if it was a ruin, if it was a explorer, it would have went over here, and that would have been ridiculous. So yeah, I bought math. I'm going to be able to upgrade this village here to, well, just a level 2. No, I'm going to go for level 3. Just chop a few trees, get a level 3 village. I did the calculations. I still have enough trees left to make giants. So it doesn't hurt to chop a few. And it is an explorer, and that shows where our third village would have been. So we went a little farther north with that one warrior than we had to. That's all right. I think I'm going to get my first giant this turn. Turn 6 giant, not too bad. So now we've got our monument. We're just going to spend 2 stars to get that lumber hut, and then we're going to put our monument down and get a level 4 village. Normally I go right for level 5, but unless I'm going to border expand. But in this case, since we had that monument, it only cost us 2 stars to get to level 4, but we're going to make an extra star per turn. So luckily that Explorer showed us we're kind of on a continent here. So now we know the next tech we want to go for is definitely navigation. Navigation is a little bit like mathematics. You want to buy it before you convert too many villages to keep the costs low. And there it is. We have our third ruin down there in the south. But before navigation, we went ahead and went for roads. I don't know if that was the best choice. Yeah. So apparently I'm just going to try to buy a whole lot of tech before I convert these next villages. So it's going to skip turn 9. What you're going to miss is that on turn 9 we did not convert that village up north. we sat on it, and that was so we could afford navigation this turn. If we would have converted that village last turn, it would have driven sailing up by 2 stars and then navigation up by 3 stars. So yeah, we waited and it paid off. We got navigation, so that means our explorer is going to go out over the opponent and got 5 stars from Kiku. Kiku is in second place currently, and then we're going to also send out this village. Shows us we have a whole lot of whales. And I like naval explorers not just to find my opponent, but to also reveal the immediate clouds. Because if you try to put a boat in the water and your opponent's nearby and he shoots your boat out of the clouds, there's nothing more annoying because you can't retaliate. There we go. We meet Ellie. We get gold stars. But yeah, so we're in a good position now. Our opponent cannot shoot us out of the clouds. I got, what did I get out of that ruin? It was shields. I got shields out of that ruin. So defenders will come in handy later. Right now we're going to get our giants in the water. So yeah, I bought riding, roads, sailing, and navigation pretty much within 2 turns. And that was quite a bit of tech. Let's see here. So now we've got how many giants? 2 giants. One's in the water. We're going to try to drop it on Kiku. We're going to get this second giant in the water and try to drop it on Ellie Ryan. That doesn't go so well, but you'll see that later. This game only goes to turn 5, so just hold on it. It's not going to be much longer. So if you notice where I'm putting my ports, they're actually a little bit strategic. I am considering the fact that I might get trade and I might want to put down custom houses. So luckily Kiku stepped out of that village and we were able to sneak our giant in there. Something important here I want to point out. So it's a level 3 with 215 points. A level 3 should only have 200 points or be worth 200 points. And there's a reason it's worth 215. See, if I click, I'm going to show you here in a second why it's worth 215. If I click on my village here, also worth 215, right? Let's pause this here. So that tells us something kind of scary. It means it's worth 200 points plus 1, 2, 3 times 5, 15. So that's where the 215 comes from. So he only needs to put down, let's say, a monument, and then, well, we're drawing in the wrong place here, aren't we? He only needs to put down a monument, and then he's going to pop my giant out of there. So we didn't look at that before we put the giant in there. It wouldn't really matter because we're going to force his hand either way. I mean, we either convert the village or we force him to make the giant, and then we just kill it. We're going to put a bunch of boats in there. So if he is going to pop a giant, it's inevitable. We might as well force it, get it out of the way. So we've got our second giant in the water. I think I made a third giant up at the north. Yep. So I'm going to sneak that giant in another one of Kiku's villages here. So not too bad. I think we're 2,000 points above Kiku, and Kiku's in second place. I will tell you, Ellie gets kind of scary here, and you're going to see that in a few turns. So luckily, I get a battleship out of that ruin. The only thing that might have been better would have been maybe 10 stars, because then I could make my own battleships that were able to attack this turn. See, that battleship in the ruin can't attack till next turn. I'm attacking Ellie out of the clouds. He wasn't even able to shoot back from that boat I killed. It's very important. Make sure you keep track of where your opponent's been. It's one reason I record turns, because I can go back and play the previous 1 or 2 turns before the current turn I'm taking, and I can see, I can guess where my opponent's vision is. I don't know why I'm setting on these whales. See, that southern village could border expand, and it could have 3 whales. And I figured that out on the next turn. I really don't know why I'm sitting on them. Maybe I was trying to hold out to not border expand, and I think I skipped some. Yeah, I skipped it. So those battleships hit the Kiku village up there, and then I was able to get my giant back in there again. So now we're going to go for that ruin. No, we're not. We're going to stand on this whale here. So partly standing on these 2 whales. You see my boats, my ship and my battleship are standing on the whales. That way Kiku and Ellie can't move in and stand on those whales. If they stand on it and I want to harvest the whales, I can't when they're standing on it. So it's a preemptive whale standing. Oh, I skipped the... What happened there? Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. I don't know why it keeps skipping ahead. I kind of hate this video player. Here you go. His Navalon hits my battleship. I do end up getting whaling because I figured it out. I did the math. There's no way I can make enough battleships to both take the Kiku village far north and put my own battleship in the Ellie village down south unless I border expand and get these 2 whales. And I'm also going to chop these 2 trees. I chopped that one. I chopped the second one at the end of the turn and able to afford a very important defender. You'll see that. So here we go. This is a little surprising. That took me by surprise. And I math it out. I do a battle calculator and I figure out it's not a good idea to put my 31 HP giant in that village, but I do it anyway just because it's fun. Because look, he's going to kill that battleship. He's going to take my giant down to 9 HP. And then if he can make another battleship, he will kill it. It's much better idea to keep a giant as a battleship to fight those Navalons. I don't know. Because it's fun is not really a good reason, but I don't care. I don't care. This is the last turn I'm going to show you because I figure it's going to go to a battleship spam, and I don't really enjoy that, and it makes my videos too long. Once they reach 2 gigabytes, then corruption happens. So there you have it. I've dropped 3 giants in 3 of my opponent's villages. So yeah, and then I made that all important defender with left. So drop me some comments. Know what you think.